Francesco, primeiro ano em Portugal, melhor treinador da Liga, à frente de Rui Borges do Sporting com experiência na Liga Portuguesa e de José Mourinho do Benfica. O que é que isso representa para si?
You know, the individual trophies are always consequence of collective achievement. So in reality, I think what this symbol or these trophies that I got after the game is just the consequence of what the team did. I already said in several interviews that the magnitude of what we did and is directly related with the level of the opponents that we played against. And I think this season we had two big contenders, two teams that did a fantastic season. They repeat this exactly the same point of the previous year, but somehow I think what we did, is even more extraordinary exactly for this because from, if I'm not wrong, from -9 to +6 says a lot. And in this part, as I say, this is the work of all the people in the club, all the people that love Porto, and of course, mainly about the players that were capable to transform all the ambition and all the dreams in a reality that became a cup that represents a lot for this football club, represents a lot for this region, and represents something really special, especially for this city.
Mister, daqui a alguns anos, quando os portistas, os adeptos, falarem sobre o Porto de Farioli, como é que gostava que a sua equipa fosse recordada?
I would love them to remember this team like the Porto of Portista, a team made by players that gave everything to this club, to this jersey, and I think starting from one of the first friendly matches that we play here against Twente, Atletico Madrid, in 20 days or 25 days from probably one of the lowest moments of the club after the Club World Cup, to reconnect immediately with the environment, with the supporters, and from there to start a journey that at that point we didn't really know where we were going to end up, but for sure with a lot of desire to work really hard into the present. And this one lead us to the first game, the first victory, and since then, the journey that we did, especially in the first half, with 49 points out of 51, and the second part where, of course, we lost some points more than what we did in the first leg during few matches, but in terms of consistency and capacity to constantly be ready to come back after a bad weekend has been the key to achieve what we achieved.
Mister, em dezembro usou pela primeira vez a expressão contra tudo e contra todos. O que é que significa para si essa expressão e por que é que sentiu necessidade de a usar?
So it was something that when we came here in the museum, it has been something that has been mentioned, and more than mentioned, has been explained to me quite well from the people in the museum, and after, of course, my curiosity to understand a bit more, not just the sportive side, but as well the social part behind this slogan. And after a few weeks, it's something that if you live here and you see certain dynamics, you recognize what it means. You are able to identify many moments where this feeling, this deep feeling, has to come out, and what we did since the beginning, and is something that we had as well in our meeting room that, as you know, we spend quite a lot of time there, and it's about double effort. That to win in Porto, it requires a double effort. And this one has been part of our pre-season and our preparation. It has been something that we had during all the months of the competition, and it's something that of course became even stronger and harder in the last period when the target became closer and closer, and it was the moment where everybody found a way to squeeze the right energy and to give the last boost to the season to achieve the trophies and to finish the season in the way that we did.
Para filósofo, o que é que significa esse slogan? Para filósofo, o que significa esse slogan, contra tudo e contra todos?
I think it's there is not many things to be added. I mean, it's quite inclusive, no? This message, because at the end, the people that you have with you and the people that you can count on, the people that you can rely in the good and in the bad moments, and to have clear that everything that is outside of this inner circle is not going to be friendly, or is not going to facilitate your life. Is not going to make, let's say, to clean up your road. But most probably is going to create all the possible and sometimes also the impossible obstacle on the way. And I think this season we had, of course, something that is starting from the loss of George and the emotion and the sadness that we had during the season. Of course, with this first moment, some injuries that, of course, are part of football, but when are so of this gravity and in situation of that you cannot really, control or predict, are just punch in the face that you get, and you need to find a way to come up as a collective, and of course for these guys individually. Plus, again, the other circumstances that we have been talking a lot during the season. It has been quite constant feeling that we had during all the season, in all the matches, starting from the beginning till the last game. And even though the team found a way to manage this frustration and this anger in the right way, and to put an even more competitive spirit, an even more strong desire to prove ourselves at the level that it was needed, and finally to be at the beginning of May with the job done, has been something really positive and really remarkable. And of course the celebration of last night is something that will stay in our memories forever.
Por falar em sentimento, o Francesco cresceu na era dourada do futebol italiano, anos 80 e 90, equipas incríveis. Nessa altura, quem eram os seus ídolos, e em que momento é que o Francesco também decidiu que ia pensar o jogo mais do que jogá-lo?
No, in this part, you say right. It was a moment where Serie A was a bit like the Premier League, no?
Yes.
80s, the 90s especially, and probably also the beginning of the new century. It was for sure the most interesting league, or the league with the best player, best coaches, etc., etc. And after, we are now in a, of course, much more international context, where the new balance and the new order of football is, and as well of financial investment, everything goes to the Premier League, and after the other top 4 leagues out of the Premier League are a bit far away, and after there are 2 leagues that I know quite well, like the Portuguese one and the Dutch one, that are and as well the Turkish one, that are not named as a top 5, but are leagues very competitive, leagues where you can find good players and good coaches that quite often they are going to implement the squad and the teams in the best league in the world, and to play in the Champions League. In this part, you know, my journey out of Italy has been quite long already, 6 years plus 2 years when I went to Qatar. So in this part, I feel really curious about discovering new culture, new environment, new leagues, new coaches, a new style of play, and this is how it is. In this part, I feel again really happy for the journey that I had, with no regrets about the fact of not being in Italy, and in all honesty, I don't really know what is my future, but my future is here in Porto, and I'm really happy to stay in this fantastic club made by people that are special to me, and to work for the next season with a lot of ambition, a lot of humbleness, always with a lot of challenges that we want to face in the right way and in the right mood.
O pequeno Francesco tinha ídolo ou dois em Itália nessa altura? Olhava para alguém com...
No, yeah, of course. Especially when you are young, you have your idols. Mainly were players at that time. But again, time by time, when you grow up, you start to look things in a different way. I completely lost the feeling of being a supporter, and now I am supporter of the club where I work. With some of these one, of course, you establish a very strong bond and strong link, and this is what happened and what is happening with Porto.
Francesco, que equipa está a idealizar juntamente com o Presidente para a próxima época? Onde é que está mais concentrado? No meio-campo, na baliza, no ataque, nas laterais? Para engrandecer ainda mais a equipa?
You know, there are positions where potentially now we can already project few improvements and areas where we believe we should increase a little bit our depth or our qualities. But you know that in reality in the market, you need to be really good in planning, but you need to be special and extraordinary in reacting, because you never know what can happen, you never know what opportunity can come to your table, and if there is this opportunity to get it, yes or not, if yes, what it means, if not, which are the possible consequences. And after, of course, because we have a team of young players that are naturally attracting a lot of interest from the biggest club in the world.
And Porto has money to buy good players?
Yeah, we are not the richest, but we find a way to be creative and to be attractive enough to bring the players that we would like to see here with the jersey of FC Porto.
Thank you.
Thank you.